Crews assigned to missions on the International Space Station spend more than 2 years training for 6 months on orbit. But NASA is always developing information to prepare for future missions to this station and future missions to deep space. One of the ways that we do that is by sending crews on long missions underwater on what are known as NEEMO missions. NEEMO stands for NASA Extreme Environment Mission Operations, and 2 more NEEMO missions are slated for later this summer. JAXA astronaut Aki Hoshide, a veteran of 1 space shuttle mission to the space station, plus a 124-day flight during expeditions 32 and 33 back in 2012, is going to be the commander of NEEMO 18 next month. And recently, my colleague Amiko Kauterer talked with Hoshide to find out more about the plans for his 9-day underwater mission.
So NEEMO 18 is coming up this July. We have a 9-day mission underwater in an Aquarius habitat. There's 4 crew members involved, myself, and then 2 NASA astronauts, Jeanette Epps and Mark Vandehei. And we have 1 more ESA astronaut, Thomas Pesquet.
Okay, great, thank you. So, tell me first, what inspired you to do NEEMO when they came to you and said, Aki?
Well, I haven't had the opportunity to actually stay underwater for this long, and it's been around as a training for quite a while now, but I just didn't have the opportunity to stay down there. So when the opportunity came, I said, yeah, sign me up.
Great. Well, we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
So let's talk about also now NEEMO 18 is going to address some objectives that we have currently of the space station and also Orion, and it's going to also look at some objectives for future space exploration.
That's
Can
right.
you tell me a little about how your past space experience is going to fits into these objectives for NEEMO 18?
Sure. So we have different experiments, different evaluations, objectives during this NEEMO mission, and a lot of people are involved. But for the crew, it's partly training. You're in that environment for a long duration. It's 9 days only, but we consider that a significant duration underwater in extreme condition. So to me, that's just like an analog to International Space Station. You're in there together. You're isolated from the rest of the world. You have MCC helping you out, but I can try to see what is similar to the space station and then tell the rest of the crew and try to help them out and understand that.
We talked about some of the primary objectives. So one of the primary objectives of NEEMO is not only for the near term and future term of space exploration, but also the primary focus will be on human body experiments. Can you tell me a little about what you guys will be doing on NEEMO 18?
Sure. There's no blood draw this time. Ooh, but there's more like the teamwork aspect. You mentioned international crew, but in a isolated environment, and we'll have some comm delay as well built in for a couple of the days. So the teamwork will be very crucial. So we'll be looking at how to improve the teamwork. We have a lot of questionnaires that we need to fill out, that kind of thing. And on a different subject, we're testing out like the heart rate monitor that we can use for the International Space Station as well.
Great. Yeah, so I know lucky you're not being pricked. So mostly from the psychological aspect and working with the crew members, but then also doing some work with the heart rate monitor.
Correct.
So another one of those objectives is also going to be looking at spacewalk tools and techniques. Can you tell me a little about how you guys will be doing that on NEEMO 18?
Sure. So every single day we'll be diving and going EVA outside the habitat. Yes, spacewalk. Going out to the water, not to space, but some of those days will be using a drill. So the objective is to see if these new hardwares will be used, which we will be using for future missions, like for the asteroid or Mars, how feasible those would be in operation.
Now, are these tools that they are currently using aboard the space station?
No.
That you guys are trying.
So
these are new tools for future use.
Yes.
Possibly outside space station or for other future.
For future missions.
Asteroid or whatever. That's really fascinating. So that'll be kind of cool to be able to get your hands on something different that you haven't used before.
Right.
Also, can you tell me a little bit? We were talking about your training again. Your mission kicks off on what, July 21st?
The training will kick up on July 14th.
I'm sorry. Your
The
mission begins
yes,
on July
21st,
21st, and then your training. So, can you tell me a little about just compare some of the training for Expedition versus for NEEMO 18?
So for an ISS mission, it's a couple years long, and you go to different countries, and you go start with an overview, and then go into the details. You use a procedure. You have a hardware to play around with.
Okay.
Now for NEEMO missions, it's very tight in a way. We had an overview training session here at JSC for the past couple of days, but we'll fly down to Florida, and then we'll actually see the hardware, see the habitat, see all the equipment that we're going to use, and then we're going to play around with it, use a procedure, make sure that we know exactly what we need to do, and then dive in. So it's a very condensed training process compared to station.
It sounds like it. Well, best of luck to you. That's all the time we have. But thank you again for coming out and talking with us. And we look forward to following you guys. And good luck out there. Have fun, too.
Thank you.